Hey guys, Lauren here. Welcome back. So I have been gone for about 2 weeks, but that's because I was purposely waiting to film because I finally got lights. They showed up in the mail and I finally have time to sit down and film with the lights, so no more stupid requiring daylight, needing anything crazy. I have lights. So today's video is going to be in honor of a relaunch of a certain palette. The Jaclyn Hill palette. So this guy actually relaunched on Morphe's website today and it's sold out super quick again. I actually personally have been loving this so much that I ordered myself a backup, but I also figured why not do one of my go-to looks with this palette in honor of it coming back today. So I know in my first video I did a look using the dark greens and playing with a lot of color that I normally wouldn't do, but today is going to be more of a day-to-day what I wear when I go to work. I flip between two different looks, so today's video is going to be one of those. So we are just going to go ahead and jump right into this video using this guy right here. Make sure you click subscribe before you leave, and we're going to go ahead and jump right in. Okay guys, so for the sake of the video, I actually did my right eye already. I didn't want this video to be crazy long, so I decided to go ahead and do one eye first. So this is the look that we are going to be doing today. Super simple, super neutral. I do already have primer on, so I am actually going to go in with my usual base shade to set my eye primer, which is this one right here. And I take, for this one, I do take a bit of a fluffier, bigger brush, and I just tap into the product and I just cover up my primer. So this is going to set your primer and keep things in place longer. So I just kind of buff that over the entire eyelid. And if there's any spots that look like they need a little extra, or if I missed a spot, I will go in and I'll just tap in and grab a little bit more and just buff in again. And with that, my eye primer is set. So we are going to actually move on then to our transition shades. And this one, I kind of use 3 colors. I start off using these two right here. I actually mix the two together. So I'll tap into the brown color and then I'll tap into the mustard color, tap off the excess, and I just go right into my crease, and I just go back and forth, and I alternate with little motions and big wiper motions. And I will go into the corner and just kind of go back and forth in the corner, and I just blend, and I keep blending because I want to make sure that my transition shade is down and set really nicely and really smooth, so that way the rest of my eyeshadow goes on smooth. And if I feel like I need to tap in a little bit more, I get a little bit more on my brush and I just go in. And I am actually using the e.l.f. blending brush for this one, and my other brush that I used first was by Eco Tools. It is their full shadow brush. So that was the first one I used, and then I just throw it around apparently. So I'm just going to keep blending. So I like to keep my transition shade a little bit higher on the eye. And then once I have that on, I'm actually going to move on to my second round of transition, which is going to be this shade right here. I actually use these colors a lot, almost every single day, as my transition shades in general. And this one, since it's a little bit darker, I keep it a little bit lower and more in the crease, whereas the other shades were more up and above as well as in the crease. And same thing, I just blend it out and I use the small motions and the large motions. I get into the corner some. I love doing this eye look because it goes with everything, and when I'm getting ready for work, it's kind of the easiest thing. I don't have to think about it. I just toss it on, and if I don't know what I'm going to wear, 1, 2, 3, hey, it still matches, and it's fantastic. That's the one thing I love about this palette, aside from the colors. I mean, as you can see, they're super pigmented, they're super rich, and they glide on so smooth. I mean, I've done all of this in no time flat, and I'm already this far into my eyeshadow. So once I'm done with my transition shades, we're going to tap into this color right here. It's kind of like a reddish brown, more on the brown end, But I'm going to tap my brush into that, and notice I'm using the same brush for all of this so far. And I'm going to keep that color a little bit lower as well because it is darker, and I'm going to blend this kind of like my transition shades. And I'm going to blend it inwards. After I get the product down on the outer side, then I'm going to drag it in towards my inner eye. And I want to make sure I also get into the outside edge of my eye as well, just to make sure everything's blended in beautifully. And then I'll go back in and I'll grab more product, and I will just focus on the outer corner of my eye with that color to deepen that up a little bit more and get it ready for the dark brown that I'm going to use. And then, see how quick and easy this is? This is why I love this palette. Everything just goes on like a charm. I'm actually going to tap into this brown here. It's got, to me, some of those red undertones in it still. So it kind of blends nicely with all of the shades in this palette. And I keep this one really below the crease. And I just focus right on the outer corner, and I do just little motions, blending. And then once I've blended that enough, I bring it in some. And I blend it inward. But I don't want to bring it too far in, so that's why I make sure the product is down, and when I barely have anything left on my brush, then I bring it in. So we are just going to go ahead and blend that out a little bit more. Make sure everything looks even on each side, which it is looking nicely. So I'm going to tap in just a smidge more and get just a little bit closer to the lash line. And just blend it out a little bit more. And within just like a couple of minutes, all my base shades are done, completed, ready to go. All I have left is shimmer, smoke out my lower lash line, and put on mascara. That's literally how easy this palette makes everything. So these shimmers, I normally take more of a flat, stiff brush for my shimmers. I'll wet it with my Fix Plus, but I ran out of it. Of course, I ran out of it before I bought more. So I actually haven't had any to use, and I'm one of those people that once I started, I had to always wet my shadows. So I went in with my finger, which brings me to another reason why I love this palette. I can literally apply this with my fingers and it goes on just as buttery and just as smooth as with a brush. So I'm going to tap into this little guy right here with my finger. I just swirl it around in the palette some, and this is how amazing this is. You just pat it on and you get color payoff like you wet your brush, without actually having to take the time to take your spray and wet your brush and do all of that. You just go in with your finger, and the way these pans are pressed, each one is unique in its own right. So no matter how you use these shadows, they're gonna work for you. This palette was created so thoughtfully and so well that you can't do any wrong with this palette. I literally am still like speechless sometimes about how amazing it is. So we put our shimmer down. We are actually going to take that same blending brush and we are going to tap in to this guy right here a little bit, and we're going to kind of blend it in. Because we didn't have a brush to use, I'm going to take a small amount of my brush and I'm going to go up in the upper crease and along the outside edges just a little bit, very lightly going over it, and just kind of smooth out that transition so it's not so stark like, oh hey, I put on my eyeshadow with my finger. And I know you get that look with a brush too, so no matter what, I always go and I just blend it out a little bit. And that literally takes care of the eyeshadow. I'll go in with one of the highlight shades not on that brush, unfortunately. But I will take this flat brush, and I've been using this one a lot lately. I'll just get a little bit on the very edge of my brush, and I'll go in and I'll add a little highlight to the corner of my eye, and I blend it out a little bit, but I also blend it into my eyelid where my shimmer is if I'm using a lighter shimmer. So everything kind of blends really nicely and just is super smooth and fluent. If I'm using one of the darker shimmers, I will keep it more just towards my bottom lash line instead of bringing it up in that way. So now that everything looks even and looks good, we're going back in with this guy. And we're going to tap into that light brown shade again, that first one that I used to smooth out my shimmer. And we're going to go ahead and just smoke out that bottom lash line. And now I go in with a very light hand here because I don't want it to be too thick, because I am using a fluffier brush. In the mornings, I don't want to have to worry about grabbing 7 different brushes to put on my eyeshadow, and the fact that I've gotten used to putting on the eyeshadow underneath my eye with this, I have learned to go in with a very light hand and then go in a little bit more, just kind of blend it with that lighter color first. And then I'm going to go in with this brown color again, just a very small amount on the tip of the brush, and I'm only focusing this on the outer corner. I'm not bringing it in too far. And then once I have the shadow down, I just do the same thing. I go in and I blend it a little bit more. And I like to blend it outwards, especially if I'm not wearing eyeliner for the day. Blending it outwards will help kind of blend in that corner that you have here, and you won't run the risk of dragging too much product inwards and dragging it down, because it will actually drag your eyes down. So once you have your bottom lash line down, you're basically done with the eyeshadow. I mean, I kid you not, this goes so fast. I can do my eye makeup now in probably about 15 minutes for each eye. That's how quickly and how smooth and how velvety everything goes on with this palette. So I'm just going to go in with my e.l.f. eyelash curler just to give a little bit of curl, because I'm not wearing mascara or lashes because this is a day-to-day work look. I just curl my lashes for a few seconds, and I'm using the e.l.f. Lengthening and Volumizing Mascara. I've actually been loving this mascara lately. It's only $3. Works great. It doesn't give as much volume as I would like, but for a $3 mascara, it actually does really well. So we're just going to go ahead and apply a coat of mascara. So we do top and we do bottom lashes. And voila! Just like that. You guys saw how quick that was, you saw how easy that was, and how beautifully everything blended together. This is a great day-to-day look that I personally love to do. No matter what, I have my go-to day-to-day eye look that I can easily switch up if I want to, just by tapping into one of the other colors that are in this palette. And it's super easy to switch it up by using these fun colors towards the bottom of the palette if I want to, because my transitions go with everything. This, I will forever say it, Jaclyn did an amazing job with this palette, and I'm so proud of her, and I'm so proud of everything that she's done. The way she created this, it was worth the wait. For everybody that complains about how long it took, it was worth the wait in my book. So I hope you guys enjoyed this little tutorial, and I hope those of you that just ordered this palette for the first time love it as much as everybody else does that has been using it. If you have any questions, if you want me to try out some different looks with it and show you some fun looks with some of the other colors, leave them in the comments down below, and I'll definitely be sure to show you guys some other looks that I've created with this guy. Don't forget, click subscribe before you leave, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye guys!